This little rabbit is in a deserted forest. The baby rabbit was jumping to find drinking water in the quiet night. And the hungry tiger is waiting to be rabbit from behind. And suddenly, when the rabbit was drinking water, the tiger came. It turned out that this was a play of the children. Rabbits, after being involved, pretending to sleep. Looking at the rabbit, the bloody scene was shot and looked without any feet in the shape of her parents. Then the drama was closed. The whole rabbit family is going home, when Judy's parents ask if she knows why her parents are happy until now. It is because parents abandon their dreams and seek happiness when getting married. We just wanted to advise her to give up her dream of being a police officer, but Judy did not think so. She wants this world to become better. Her parents continued to go to the carrot counter to invite her to become a farmer, because it can also make the world better. Talking with me when I turned to go back and went missing. It turned out that she saw something so sneaked. Judy saw a big fox that was bullying the small sheep. Feeling unable to leave this story, Judy rushed in. But the fox ran out of her outfit. She was not afraid to go back to reclaim justice for her friend. As a result, the other fox flipped the skin. Surprisingly, she was very brave. Judy dirtied his feet on the face of the fox to remember his life. But with small strength, there is no such thing. He also dirtied his claws and scratched her face to make the small face bleeding. He was very angry, but this time was just a warning. The next time it is not necessarily just scratching in the face. He glanced at her and left. Judy brushed his dust on his body and stood up. She must eat that she will never give up. 15 years later, at the Zootopia Police Academy, Judy was a small day to become a student in the police academy. Even if the body is smaller than Friend's, strength is not as durable, but Judy has a strong will. But trying to reach the way, her body and strength were not equal to elephants and tigers into some other big friends. So in the eyes of others, she was just a poor rabbit. But she didn't care. What she cares about is to make more efforts. When others laughed, she practiced. When others sleep, she also practiced. And of course, that effort was paid off, with more stability than before and the agility of the rabbit. Judy has overcome all the tests that surprised the coach and friends. Not only that, Judy also graduated from the police department and became the first small animal in the academy. Parents and other small animals are very proud of her. The academy also believes that what she went to another city to work. Although very proud, it is inevitable that parents are very worried about her little daughter. Finally, the train came, the whole family said goodbye, and Judy boarded the train. The scenery in this new city is so beautiful that the trains go through snow, desert, and tropical. But in response to Judy's excitement is the disdain of the superior. More than in the old academy, the head did not even introduce her name. Although he knew that Judy was a good student, he did not care to give her the task of arresting traffic. This life is not as she thinks. It is not as interesting as going to eradicate criminals and catch the wicked as she imagined. Then, day by day, Judy continued with this boring job. But one day, fortunately, she had a bandit to act in front of her. What a perfect opportunity to freely prove yourself. She chased the thief, but he went through the mouse's tiny city. Judy also chased, but missed a little bit of this small city. This small city will collapse immediately. She also had to be careful not to die with tiny residents. Finally, she caught up and caught the outskid by the other. It did not give up and kicked the donut to stop her. Unfortunately, killing a mouse was shopping, but fortunately, Judy promptly kept. After that, she brought the cake and the cunning son to the station to arrest, but instead of praising her, the head of the rabbit blamed the rabbit. In the bag that the thief took was just a rotten onion bag, not posting for her to make such a disturbance. Both are stressful when there is a fish paper stepping in the newspaper that her husband has been missing for 10 days. The affection of the whole family is very harmonious, and there are 2 smart children obediently. Mr. Paper did not have any motivation to disappear. The head did not care much but invited her to leave. But Judy accepted that opportunity. She took the initiative to take this mission. The poor fish paper was also very touched by this. But shortly after that, the head demanded to remove her, discriminating as much as possible to suppress her power. At that moment, the fish paper outside met the sheep's mayor, and because of the sheep's face, he reluctantly let Judy do this mission, but also made it difficult, extending her to find a fish paper for 48 hours, otherwise she would be far away permanently. The mission is difficult for his clues. It is very small, only one photo last time he saw him appear. Judy saw him holding the ice cream in his hand with a very cheerful face, and next to the furnace out of the furnace. Judy immediately realized this. That is a cunning fox. Every day it is the same small fox pretending to be a father and son, trying to win the hearts of everyone and use tricks for people to buy ice cream for him. The two of them then melted the cream and recycled the cream to resell it to the user of office rats. Then continue recycling the cream to sell to the mouse's construction team. Every day these two cunning foxes earn thousands of dollars. It is true that getting rich is not difficult from empty hands. Judy investigated and discovered this and recorded the sound of his favor when doing something illegal. In the recording, she also mentioned that he evaded smuggled taxes, so he could threaten his Nick to help him search. She was taller, so he had to put aside the scam to get rich to help her find her husband. He took the rabbit to the Naked Meditation Club, hearing the name a bit scared, but entering was as scared as the name. In this, animals confidently show off their personality, not afraid of showing it all. Judy felt embarrassed by the offensive meditation of everyone here. Through the collected information, Judy has just found a clue. He went to a silver-white car and has a number plate 29th D03. Thanks to Nick's relationship, they came to find more clues at the facility management. It was a lazy guy named Fee Lat, but very slow. Until late at night, both of them had information about the car to investigate more about the case. The two came to a domain of the goddess, this place snowshoes covering the road. Finally, he also found the car that he took the fish, climbing inside containing his identity card. So there was a feather of the polar bear. Nick is extremely scared right now because they are the wrong father's wrong ears. Opening the door, he saw two tall, muscular bears standing outside waiting for the feathers of the two. It was not said that both were taken to the goddess to be guilty, but badly, Nick once tricked him to buy an expensive carpet made from the feathers of the foul dragonfly. This must be prepared with the old father. Upon arrival, the two were taken into a room with a lot of tall and muscular boys, and another bear came in. This guy is very big, but not Mr. Bai. He slowly opened the palm of his hand. This tiny mouse was the bunch, the old father in the legend. Nick was still at the end of his head, begged for him to forgive himself, and kissed him with respect. But it was so easy, the carpet he knew he used to wrap his mother. Of course, the fox must also receive the ending with his hand. The two bears opened the tunnel. Below was a cold glacier. Thinking that the garlic came to the place when his daughter ran out without allowing him. To throw anyone into the lake. In her wedding, but looking closely, she discovered Judy was the one who saved her before. The godfather is also a person who knows how to harass it, so it is also invited to invite them to attend the daughter's party. Not only that is also a trial. He also told the two of them all the situation. It turned out that the price of the fish was crazy and scratched the driver's face in the car and suddenly disappeared. Thanks to the two came to find the driver's address. He was extremely scared to hide behind the door. He said that when he was in the car, naturally, the fish showed his attack and scratched his face crazy. Judy persuaded the newspaper to open the door, but not long after that, he reported to a rake face with a manifestation and clapped both. The newspaper also wanted to pursue two people, but fortunately he could not get into the trunk. Judy immediately called the police department to ask for rescue. But the rain in the forest is growing. The road is also slippery, so it is difficult to flee. Meanwhile, Judy had fallen from the cliff. Black Leopard is getting closer and closer to Nick. Judy has cuffed the newspaper to the light. All three struggled for a while. Nick flew out of the fence. That was fortunate that Judy had summed up him. Two people go to see their grandparents. Rescuing from the police finally came. Judy informed the head about the quirky, crazy nature of the fish and the Black Panther, but he despised it. Judy Parade disregarded meat animals, so on the suspension bridge now nothing. The Black Leopard has disappeared completely. Judy pointed to Nick and said this was a witness, but the head said that the fox was a fame. Say something, but not. The head continued to tell Judy that she was fired. The Nick Fox saw that the army gave her that the deadline for this case is 10 hours, so don't hurry. After saying, he opened the door to invite the rabbit Judy on the cable car. Both are stigmatized characters. Distinguished should be very sympathetic to each other. Since childhood, Nick has had a dream to become a scout, but when he came to class, he was boycotted by his friends. catching, and that's why he lived as a scam to take revenge on his life. Then Nick realized that everywhere there were oranges in supervision, just access to know where the black press has gone. Judy went back to find Deputy Mayor of the Sheep to ask if Cam loved. In the screen, they saw two wolves coming to catch a black leopard in the car and went to the mental institute. The two of them also sneaked into the hospital when they encountered it full of different brain images and were locked with 14 different species of animals being revealed. Judy was surprised that they were smelled animals in the missing area. At the same time, at the door suddenly sounded footsteps. Unexpectedly, it was the mayor of the Lion. Judy calmly opened his phone and turned around. The doctor feared that all crazy animals were meat-eating animals. Mayor roared angrily to ask all of them, "So why do people dare to see me as mayor?" While filming in silence, Judy's parents called to ask. The warning bell sounded loudly. The door was locked. Judy put the phone in Zip's pocket and then escaped from the sewer in the toilet. The police then surrounded the entire mental hospital and captured the obnoxious lion mayor. So, Miss Sheep has become a new mayor of the city. Judy became the hero in the mass disappearance of the animals. Not only that, it was also on the first page of the newspaper and was on the TV. Everyone praised and welcomed her righteous courage. The thing is, because of her speech, that meat animals all over the city were boycotted. Meat animals only account for 10% of the population. Everyone insists on isolating them out of the community. Although not speaking out, the eyes of animals eat the grass is always wary and alienated with meat-eating animals. This goes back completely with the spirit of freedom of capture, of YouTube phobia. Everyone worried that everything would be more serious. Although going to hear the praise on the hand, only felt it was extremely tired, nothing interesting. She took off the police signal and decided to return home. When she returned home, the fox scratched her face and became honest every day. He became a gentle baker. All of the old ferocity was just because he felt inferiority about himself and did not want people to discover that. While talking to people, even though he suddenly discovered a strange flower with blue, currently not know why it is purchased, at very high prices. In the past, my cousin, even though he had eaten it, he could make him crazy. As soon as he heard it, even though he understood that someone was behind this case, wanting to make people express his wild instinct, she quickly went to find Nick, both to find the base to buy this flower. Inside is a mysterious farm grown as drugs. Only one sheep wearing a masked sheep are preserving the drug from that flower. On the wall is the image of meat-eating animals crazy earlier. All evidence poured towards the new sheep market first. It turned out that she was the one behind everything. Because she wanted to be equal to the side of herbivore, she wanted it. It is all because the heavy discrimination always contains in the current society. So she wants everything. People have a misleading view of the instinct of meat animals. Slowly bring the position of higher grass. Knowing that the argument was not allowed, the two of them were ordered by her to murder. Finally, the two fell down a hole. The market laughed cleverly and then shot the blue medicine just now to make the fox become wild. She stood up and stood above the two of them, so also called for help from the police. After they come, they will only see the Nick to eat meat Judy. She is still victory. And also my eyes seen Nick was crazy to bite Judy's neck, but did not know that he was just pretending but not crazy. Where the liquid from where he was replaced by BACN. Judy also took a recording pen inside with a confession of crime caused by her herself. At this time, the police also arrived, and she was arrested on her crime. That flower has also been injected into antidote to treat the victims. That's why Mr. Nye was able to reunite and return to his family. At this point, Judy has been respected by the head. Nick is not only that, but also joined the police force. The two of them also became a couple after the sky. Then the two broke a case of the notorious racer. But the culprit is none other than the lazy friend, Dash. The interface is slow and actually passionate about speed. It is true that do not look at the face and catch the image. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.